Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. This time let's take a look at the things that you must pay attention to if you want to maximize your gameplay experience in Project Wunderwaffe. In this episode we will cover basic strategies, some mistakes and most importantly action priority list, which actually is a main key to success. Okay, let's start with strategy. First thing that you want to do in this game is to construct one or two sections of elevator at the end of the warehouse. Yes, elevator first. That will create the right resource flow later in the game, and you will be able to connect your main warehouse to other warehouses and facilities in one interconnected network using tunnels and elevators, and avoid running out of storage in any of them. So this is very important. Do that. Another tip that I would like to give straight away is how to minimize water and power consumption needs. I recommend switching off facilities that you are not using. In terms of research, I suggest go for mining and mine first, then production and cement plant, and then go find and dig stone, gold, copper and coal, because they are needed to initiate the storage, quarters and science research branches. And then go for worker quarters first, because you need workers for different tasks. Overall, in the game I had better success and stability when I put emphasis on mining and production research first and only then on other stuff. There are quite often requests from the front lines that you have to complete if you want to receive valuable bonuses. To do that effectively, I suggest keeping the task list open all the time and pause the game every single time when new task comes in to consider your priorities and actions to complete it. If you keep task list minimized, you may miss some of them. When you build warehouses, I suggest connecting them to the main elevator shaft, either straight to it or with tunnel. I had bad experience when initially I built them between facilities, like for example labs or say quarters, and it turned out that they cannot function because you cannot get stuff in or out of them. So yes, when I started to connect them to the main shaft, then that problem disappeared. Another tip about warehouses. It might be useful to build appropriate size storage next to each production facility so that it connects straight to it and then through the tunnels and elevators to the main shaft and main warehouse. On top of that, you may designate that in this particular warehouse you will gonna store goods from production in that particular facility. Now I would like to share my promised action priority list with you. Number one priority is mining. Without ore you cannot produce raw materials, which in turn are needed to produce other things. There are 6 types of resources you can mine. Stone, iron and gold are the most needed ones. Stone is used to produce main building materials, like for example cement, and often you are tasked to produce crushed stone or send cement to the front lines, and if you manage to do that, you will get bonuses. And cement is one of the required components to produce prefabricated walls that are needed when you build facilities. Iron is needed for a wide range of components, including some needed for prefabricated walls production, pipes, steel plates, armor plates, etc. So, a very important resource. Gold is the main currency in the game that is required for pretty much all and any building and research needs. Later on in the game you can develop technology that allows convert gold into some production goods, and it will be required at the chemical production facility as well. So keep an eye on stone, iron and gold. You need them often. Initially, coal is less needed or until you build steel mill and start to produce gold, copper and iron. So when you build steel mill, then you must keep an eye on coal as well, and you need that as a fuel. Copper is required for weapons and electricity cable production, but I never experienced its deficit. And finally, uranium ore will be needed for uranium enrichment program and atomic bomb development. Priority number 2, facilities. I suggest to build them straight away as you research them and as they become available. I found this approach most effective and reasonable, and it helped me to avoid situations when you get requests from the front lines to produce something in the time, or produce or send something in the time, and you don't have facility to do that. That's terrible. So yes, I recommend build them straight away, and don't worry, you will need all of those facilities anyway. For example, even seemingly not so important warehouse may turn out to be very much needed when you run out of space in your main warehouse, and because of that cannot build any more mines, accumulate or product raw materials and goods that are required to send to the front lines, or even worse, you cannot complete tasks and you cannot even build new mines. Yeah, once in a game I came across that situation. It was very unpleasant. Well, try not to make this mistake. Believe me, it was very unpleasant situation. Regarding facilities, prioritize those that mine ore, produce materials, components and goods. Rest of them are important as well, but you can build them and fix issues if you have mining and production running. Okay, there will be 2 more things that are highly important, and next one is production. You must not keep a hawk eye on it all the time, but you must try to avoid depleting any resource with production. If you do that and you don't have resources to build what you need, and if you run out resources or components that are required to build any facility, or even worse, say for example mines I already mentioned, you may find yourself in a quite difficult situation. So yeah, keep an eye on that. And last in the priority list is research. Although I put it last in the list, it is very important because ultimate goal of the game is to delay enemy progress as much as possible, and one way to do that is to create wonder weapons, and to achieve that you must succeed in research. I put it last in the list only because one reason, and that reason is simple. If you screw up in any of 3 first points, which are mining, main production facilities or production itself, you may not be able to aid war efforts in other means, or even worse, you may stall your research as well. Last but not least, an important suggestion is to remember to build training and communication centers, and you can build more than one of them to slow down approaching enemy. If you would like to see the Wunderwaffe game review and find out about the in-game features and all facilities, go ahead and check out the video that appears on the screen. Write in the comments what do you think about this wonderful game, and what is your gameplay experience in the Wunderwaffe. If you found this video useful, give it a like and share this video to spread the word about this amazing game. Do not forget to subscribe, have fun gaming. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode.